Empires did not just enslave the body, they enslaved the spirit. For centuries, colonial powers took the sacred texts of the world and bent them to serve one purpose: the justification of the chattel enslavement of black African people. This is the story of how empires rewrote the Bible for slavery. Before the European colonial project, African peoples had their own relationships with spirituality, cosmology, and sacred knowledge. From Kemet to Cush, from the ancient texts of Ethiopia to the oral traditions of West Africa, black people were not strangers to divine wisdom. Many of the foundational concepts later absorbed into Christianity trace directly back to African thought. But when colonial empires arrived, armed with ships, chains, and Bibles, they brought a weaponized version of Scripture. The British, Portuguese, Spanish, Dutch, French, and American slaveholding class needed theological cover for the most brutal economic system the world had ever seen. They found their justification in carefully selected and deliberately distorted verses. The so-called curse of Ham, drawn from Genesis chapter 9, was twisted to declare that African people were divinely ordained to serve. Ephesians chapter 6, servants, obey your masters, was preached from plantation pulpits, not as context for Roman household codes, but as a divine command to accept bondage without resistance. Missionary societies were funded by slave trading companies. Churches held stock in plantations. Colonial governments passed laws making it illegal to teach enslaved people to read, because they knew that a people who could read the full Bible for themselves would discover a very different God, a God of liberation, a God who heard the cries of the oppressed. But the full story of resistance was never fully silenced. Black preachers, freedom fighters, and scholars rose up to reclaim Scripture. Denmark Vesey used the Exodus story to organize. Nat Turner was moved by visions to resist. Frederick Douglass exposed the hypocrisy of the slaveholders' Christianity. These were people who read the Bible and found not a command to submit, but a promise of freedom. Today, institutions like the African World Exploratory University carry forward that tradition of reclaiming truth. The work of uncovering how empires manipulated religion is not just history, it is liberation. Know the source, question the doctrine, reclaim the truth.